Why is Nnamdi Kanu's case different? In this analysis, I'm going to present two versions of the situation. One is a perception of those in solidarity with him, and the second version is the reality of what should be. The continuous detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, remains one of the most glaring examples of selective justice and political hypocrisy in Nigeria's democratic journey. Nearly 4 years after his arrest and rendition from Kenya in 2021, the Nigerian government has shown an unwavering determination to keep him behind bars despite numerous court rulings granting him bail and repeated calls from concerned citizens, riot groups, and international observers demanding his release. Why is that so? But that is the perception of people. At this point, it is difficult to deny that Kanu's continued detention is more political than legal. The government attitude reflects an unwillingness to confront the fundamental issues surrounding his agitation. Issues rooted in marginalization, injustice, and historical wounds that successive administrations have ignored. Rather than seeking dialogue, the state has chosen to make Kanu a symbol of defiance to be crushed, forgetting that such an approach only deepens resentment and widens the fault lines within the country. Even more troubling is the complacency, if not complicity, of Southeast leaders in the face of this prolonged injustice. The silence of many political and traditional rulers from the region is deafening. They have watched as their son languishes in detention, while others, who once raised arms or threatened the stability of the country, have long been forgiven or even rewarded. From the Niger Delta militants who were granted amnesty and integrated into the society, to northern insurgents who have reportedly been rehabilitated. The federal government has shown selective mercy to those it chooses to pardon. Yet, when it comes to Kanu, a man whose crime is rooted in words and ideology rather than violence, the system suddenly becomes rigid and indictive and vindictive. This double standard raises a painful question. Why is Kanu treated differently? Is it because his agitation threatens entrenched political interests? Or is it because the Southeast, unlike other regions, lacks the united leadership and political will to stand up for one of their own? Whatever the answer, it reveals a disturbing pattern of neglect and weakness among able elite. Leaders the leaders are more concerned with preserving their own political privileges than defending the right and dignity of their people. That is what it shows. Meanwhile, reports of Kanu's deteriorating health, including concerns raised by the Nigerian Medical Association and his legal team, have been met with cold indifference by the authorities. That is what came out yesterday. The courts, rather than prioritizing his well-being or addressing the human rights violations he has suffered, now insist he should open his defense. It is as if the goal is not justice, but punishment, which is an endless process designed to break both the man and the movement he represents. That is what the other party, those who are in solidarity with, that's exactly what we want to hear. That's what I have just presented to you. But we have to be sincere with ourselves. Personally, I believe that his defense team has not done enough. That is my own opinion on this. The defense team initially presented a no-case submission which was rejected. The team further argued the legality of his rendition, but it could not sell through. And they have asked the court to grant their client bail, or at least transfer to a medical facility, hinging their argument on grounds that their client is not medically fit to stand trial. As beautiful as that may sound, but how prepared were they to defend that prayer said before the court? You cannot tell the court that your client is unfit to stand trial, yet he walks to the courtroom by himself. Kanu has never been supported. How he clap, we have seen how he claps his hand around other people's neck, how he shakes hands with people. He has never felt. He always proceeds in court, and then I'll get back to continue.
Surprising ruling today. We were served all of a sudden, as a matter of surprise, an ambush with the medical report which the court ordered the Nigerian Medical Association to submit since 26th September. So that medical report that we were served is dated 10th October. And it was today that we were served in open court with it. So, well, you can say that the defense had no ample opportunity to react to it. It was more of an ambush. But nonetheless, the court had ordered further that Nnamdi Kanu be examined by the Nigerian Medical Association. That examination was never carried out, and the order was entered on 26th September and restated on 8th October. That part of the order was disobeyed. They never examined him. So the report is based on some informal meeting they held with Nnamdi Kanu as far back as 18th September at the DSS headquarters in Abuja. They were invited to do that by the DSS. The court and the DSS are not the same. So what we have in court, or what we were served in court today, quite frankly, we cannot be sure where it emanated from. Did it emanate from assumption, or did it emanate from the examination carried out on 18th September before the court entered an order on 26th September? So we were quite surprised from us, and we felt a bit disadvantaged, but the proceedings had to continue apace as the court wanted it. So at the end of the day, the court made a conclusion and a ruling that Nnamdi Kanu must enter his defense from the 24th of October and conclude his defense by the 30th of October. So basically, it's a 6-day trial window that we're looking at there.
So how fit is the defense now? How fit is the defense counsel, defense team particularly, entering the defense now? How ready are you guys?
Well, you see, lawyers are trained to be ready for any eventuality. But the justice of the matter is another case altogether. I choose not to comment on that.
So wait, we have to comment. Sorry, sir. I'm one of the members of the legal team. This is a public document brought in by a medical counsel through the prosecution. So they serve us this thing today. And if you watch there, in this particular medical report, you can see all the ailments they say that Nnamdi Kanu is suffering from. And surprisingly, somebody that has all these particular issues, you now, in the last paragraph, to say that from your own distance, you can stand trial. Someone that is passing through all these ailments. Having said that, too, go to make a consequential order. Say, please, go and examine him and report back to me. They never examine Nnamdi Kanu, only for them to come up with this report. Nigerian Medical Council, they should be very careful because this is a professional body and you are expected to act professionally. In your report, you are expected, I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm a practicing lawyer. You are expected to show that on this particular day, we obtained his specimen. We carried out this lab, and the lab showed this. We are talking about somebody's life, for goodness sake. You cannot just enter into your office room and you open your system and start writing trash. And you want court to rely on it. And surprisingly, we are expected to take a date for us to go. And because when the court gave us an opportunity to respond, we are ought to have taken a date to confer from our clients. Yes, it was when Nnamdi Kanu said, what? We are the people that even gave Nnamdi Kanu this thing. When the court was about to sit, we are talking about somebody's life. Of course, as a matter of this thing, the Igbos are on trial. This is a war against the Igbos. Of course, you are here when the president ordered the police and the army to go and negotiate and have a discussion with the terrorists and the non-bandits in this town with their arms. And somebody that is exercising his rights as given to him by the constitution, both local and international legislations, and you say that he should enter trial. Trial for what? What is it? What are you trying for? Do you have even jurisdiction? Does the court have jurisdiction to entertain this particular matter? Somebody that has been discharged by court of appeal. So we don't want to go into that. This is a trial. Again, these Igbos are on trial. This is a persecution, not a prosecution. And I stand by it. And I'm calling the entire Nigerians. It's the Igbos and the Nnamdi Kanu today. It can be another person tomorrow. And we should stand against it. That's why we are protesting. Why should we be treating a human being like this? Simply because the offense Nnamdi Kanu committed is because he's an Igbo man. Can you do it somebody from the north? Can you do it somebody from the west? You cannot. People have been agitating. So boy has been going around agitating for Republic of Oduduwa. Have you ever arrested him? The answer is no. Because Nnamdi Kanu is an Igbo and he feels that nobody can speak with him for him. And we are saying no to that. We can never be intimidated. Nobody is more Nigerian than anybody. Nobody is a second-class citizen in this country, and we are going to fight it. I'm begging judiciary not allow yourself to be used. They know what they are doing. Are you telling me that it was on the 13th? Court gave you 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you now produce the document on the 13th, and you kept it with you. You do not allow us to go and see our client with it, only for you to serve us 5 minutes before court is sitting, and you ask us to respond. Is this injustice or injustice, for goodness sake? We should call evil. And when you call evil, it will stop existing. That is our submission. When there was no evil.
It doesn't look like somebody will say, but we've seen in the past how sick people come to courtroom with neck collar and on wheelchairs. Perhaps Kanu's team need to visit that my governor from Ekiti State or my senator from Kogi State. I've already mentioned, if you mention them yesterday, or even the other Oga that combine both the neck collar and wheelchair. And as soon as he was wheeled out of the courtroom, he went to town Baba God for that case. All these things, the prosecution is supposed to. I know that what I'm not supposed to say it because I know the prosecution may not even be happy with me. Kanu's team supposed to have forgotten. Maybe they have forgotten that their client is standing trial for terrorism and treason. Coupled with vested interest, the federal government will never give them this freedom on platter. They have to work for it. If they fail to work for it, don't blame other listening. Please share this video so that it will reach it will get to them, and comment and subscribe for more authentic and unbiased analysis on news read below. Many people are now looking up to Sowore. Yes, Sowore is doing his job as an activist, but he knows deep down inside of him that Kanu's freedom will not come from the street of Abuja. He knows it. It is a great thing anyway that he is showing solidarity, but his intending protest should be done by the traditional rulers and top politicians from the Southeast region, not just in public. It should not be. It's not just be seen but in truth and in spirit. They should go all out to defend it. In any case, it is pertinent to mention that the freedom and peace of a particular region supersedes that of an individual. Many Nigerians have not forgotten how security situation deteriorated during the reign of his command, that is Kanu's command, and the activities of his men. Hence, if leaders from that region feel that the region is better off in terms of peace and other things with his incarceration, they will definitely be reluctant to fight for his freedom. We need to get that clear. If you have not watched my video of 2 days ago, where I suggested that Kanu might just be the cause of his problem through his outburst, go and watch that video and you understand better, because I threw more light on this. I made more analysis on this particular issue of him being his own problem. Kanu is seemingly agitating for Biafra, but how come the other ethnic groups in the region are not actively involved, even among the Igbos? That is because the foundation of his agitation is faulty. The last time I checked, the map of Biafra that was in circulation encompasses other southern regions, but his commands and activities of the activities of his men sent fear and shiver to the same people he vowed to protect. How does he intend to get support from that region or from those people? Some people come out from prison to become president, some publish books, and others release music albums. Kanu can use this period to work on his temperament and re-strategize on the core values of his agitation and learn the art of meekness, patience, and tolerance. His supporters should not continually perceive his situation as injustice. They should also get their acts together and play their card effectively. More importantly, they must avoid violence. In as much as it is their right to conduct peaceful protests, they must realize that any form of violence will rather extend his days in detention. Thank you. Drop your comment.